All right, we're live. Making comics number 9. This is pretty much a Shinobi Sasquatch special because I have the pleasure of having Cal Jameson and Rob Willis will be here. He's just a little delayed, but he will be here. And these are the guys working on Shinobi Sasquatch, which is coming to Indiegogo May 1st. So really great to have you on here, Cal. And when Rob gets on here, I'll express my same gratitude for that. Let's just start by I'll let you introduce yourself, what you're working on, and just kind of give the people a little taste of Cal. So why don't you go ahead?
Yeah. Like you mentioned, Bruce, I'm working on Shinobi Sasquatch. Working on my dinner while we're doing the stream.
Right on.
So sometimes I'll have a mouthful. Working on basically the script is done on that. I've been noticing things here and there I need to edit, which I was going to do in lettering, but if we end up hiring a letterer, I won't do that. But yeah, my part's mostly done other than running the campaign. Like you said, that launches May 1st. I'm really looking forward and also extremely anxious to that day.
Oh yeah. I remember those days.
Yeah, man. It's, looking at the, Sweetcast and his success, his day one success is like, oh man, can we do half of that? That'd be great.
Well, that's just something about Sweetcast. I've watched a couple of his streams, and he's very articulate. He's entertaining. He has some good guests on. He's really built a nice following there, and I'm sure it doesn't hurt that you can get the attention of an EVS, right?
Right.
That helps with the huge fan base that he has. So, but I think you're honestly, if you don't mind me speaking a little bit. I honestly think that you're going about it the right way. You're leaking art, you're dripping it out there, which gets the anticipation up. It doesn't hurt that Rob is just killing it with the art.
Right.
Looks fantastic, by the way. Yeah. And I'll tell him the same when he gets on. But of course I haven't read your story, so I have no idea, but I imagine I know, I've talked to you before. I know where you go with your stories and stuff, and I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm willing to bet you guys break the 20 grand mark. I really do. I don't know what your goal is or anything. I don't know what you got set up as, but it looks to be one of the better books that are going up, and I think you guys are going to do really well. So
thanks, man. Yeah. So I don't mind saying our goal is 12,000.
Okay.
It's much higher than I wanted to start. It'd be great to have a 7K goal, like Downcast, and be able to blow through it pretty easy. And I think Tug busted through his goal pretty easy too. I don't remember what it is. That would be awesome, but I decided instead of setting it lower and not doing everything, like hiring, okay. So I guess I'll just put it this way. So I promised Rob a certain page rate, and it's not even close to what he deserves.
Right.
But I promised him a page rate, and then we decided which we're going to do. We're going to definitely do color. We want it to be, fully rendered. And so I had a guy, contact me privately and say he was interested, and we gave him a tryout. And I have it on the screen here. This is one of the kind of like a really close up of the panel. But he's Paul he's actually in Ukraine. And I was like, well, that's really cool. We can like help break someone who is, far, far, far away. We can help get him some exposure. And, if his Shinobi Sasquatch does as good as we're all hoping it will, he'll be getting gigs left and right after that. And
what's his? I'm sorry. What's his name again?
His name is Paul Billick. It's Billick. And
Yeah, I saw the colors. Looking at these colored, it fits really well. It fits really well. And I hope you don't mind me bringing this up, but
Yeah.
I kind of was talking to you prior before you found the colorist and kind of trying to show you, more simple ways of doing the coloring and things like that. But I'm so glad you found this guy because this looks really good. I can't even begin to tell you how the book looks good so far.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
No, I don't mind you bringing it up at all. I actually loved what you did, and so that was, our original thing was like, well, maybe we can just do flats, or like a flat style,
right?
And then once this guy contacted me, because I don't think I even put the call out like we're definitely hiring a colorist. I think it was just one of those old threads that happened to be up, and he deemed me, and I was like, and I looked at some of his stuff, and he's actually doing one of the stories on Legends of the Lone Wolf, and
okay, right.
His piece for that, the page he sent me, it's nothing like what you're seeing on Shinobi Sasquatch. It's very like noir. Like I think he's doing I forget what the era is, but like the noir era of America, that time period, and with a hard boiled detective kind of a thing, and it looked so good, and he did a graphic novel, a Ukrainian graphic novel, that his cover for that kind of sold me on doing full renders for this,
right?
Because it's real flashy, real like what we're going for, real image, early image.
Right.
But then the piece from Lone Wolf, which was really good, but not the right style for this. That's what sold Rob, because I think he saw the range. He's like, well, this guy can do this and that. I think that was kind of like, we had a different thing that sold us on each one, but yeah, so that's the bottom line is we just, like kind of got a guy saying, hey, I can do renders, full renders. And what do you think? Sent me some samples, and I was like, okay, flats, no, let's do full renders. Like you said, we even were going to go black and white, and a lot of people consistently say, I hope you do this black and white.
Right.
But then once I saw this page come in, I was like, no, those people are going to realize it's a good thing we got a colorist.
No, absolutely. Because I think I was one of the ones that told you I wasn't trying to convince you to go black and white, but I was trying to tell you that with Rob's style of art and his rendering in black and white, it really wouldn't hurt it one bit, because you have some artists who do their inks and the black and whites, and it looks like it needs color, right? You can tell.
Right.
I'm going to say this, and I hope, and Rob's not in here because these are all good compliments for him. But
I know, right?
When I see Rob's stuff, like even when I saw the early pages, they were good, but then he posted on Twitter just recently these revamped pages. They're different than what I saw early, right?
Yeah.
And man, they're 100%. Not that the other ones were bad or anything. It was just these are 100% better. A lot more dynamics in there. A lot more different camera angles. That's what you're shooting for in sequential art, because you don't want it to all be medium shots, right? Medium shot. You want some difference, some range there. And this stuff is, just 10 times better, 100 times better. And his art is very Bernie Wrightson-ish, David Finch type stuff. It's really well rendered, and so kudos for him for doing that. Hey, I want to shout out to Corvus. He's in here. It says we have 6 people in here. Only Corvus has been talking, so big shout out to Corvus for showing up. Appreciate you coming. Anybody else is in chat not talking? Thanks for coming. And by the way, hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I have a small goal of getting to 100 subscribers, and I hope to do that pretty soon. So, but
real quick, I wanted to say,
yeah.
I was actually looking through your videos before, because I don't know how your YouTube wasn't on my radar yet, but but I hadn't seen I might have seen a post here and there, but you see so many things on Twitter, so I went to subscribe. and I was looking through your videos, and I thought, man, that's a really solid series. Like you really should definitely, you should hit 100 easy. Because you got, I mean, you had Denal DeLay on, you got, I think you had Mr. Marvel on.
Yeah, had Benjamin Henderson,
Yeah.
Cody Fernandez, the guy doing Jack Irons, and
oh yeah, I love that guy.
yeah. So and I'm working on getting some other folks. What I'm really trying to do with this channel is get the independent writers, and also artists, because I'm an artist. But writing is a little bit outside my spectrum. I like to write, but I wouldn't consider myself, good or whatever. I'm still learning. So, but I want to shine the spotlight on the independent creators, because a lot of people get a lot of playtime on different channels, and it seems to me like it's always the same folks. It's always the same folks. And so I'm just trying to expand it a little bit. And I know I don't have that kind of following, but I think any little bit helps. So,
Yeah.
So, but Corvus tells me that you wrote that book for him. Everybody knows it. So, okay.
That's fake news.
Okay. All right. So, anyway, the main theme of this channel is talking about writing and the writer. So, Cal, can you share with us, like, what got you started in writing? What made you want to write? Do you have any people you look up to as writers? And then also, what do you think is the first thing that you wrote, and did it have any traction?
Okay, yeah, great questions. Well, okay. I didn't. I'm 40. I'll be turning 43 in June, the end of June.
God, you old fart.
But I didn't. I know, right?
You're still 10 years younger than I am. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm old.
Hey, don't say that, because I'll be where you are in 10 years, and I don't want to think I'm old.
Right.
But I bring that up because I didn't. Like, I've been a musician my whole life, since my teens. My vocation is I'm a worship director at church, and so I've gone down that creative, venue for my entire adult life. But before that, I was really into drawing. Like, I just love to draw. I really, from an early age, I have some really solid art from like 5-year-old, on. And so that's what I wanted to do. And I met a friend of mine who does art for me on other stuff under my true name. And this is, I was about 20, and I met him like I forget where, maybe at a comic shop or something. And we were going to make comic books. We both wanted to write and draw our own comics. And, so that was kind of like, that was my beginning, is I wanted to be the Todd McFarlane, because that was like the guy I looked up to the most, and, then I said, like I said, music took over, and, decades later, or a decade and a half, 2 decades later, after doing school for theology, going to college for theology and stuff, I started really, really loving writing, but nonfiction, like writing like theological treatises and things like that. And then I started blogging, these thoughts, and my blog never got huge, but like I had, a decent following and a good, good interaction. And so like, that was kind of where I realized, okay, I can actually put words together in a way that people, enjoy reading them. And fast forward a few years, I was blogging, comedy, just like writing just dumb like lists and things. And this friend of mine, the one I mentioned, we reconnected. And hey, what's up, Rob?
Hey, what's up, man? Sorry it took me so long. I was having some technical issues.
No problem, man. Well, welcome. Appreciate you coming in. It's great.
How's it going, Bruce?
It's going, and I think this is the first time we've ever spoken. So good to meet you.
It is, man. It's good talking to you.
Yeah.
2 great artists in the same room. I love it.
Thanks for inviting me on. Yeah, you're an amazing artist, man. I really appreciate you having me on here. That's cool, man. Thank you.
No, thank you for coming. It's a mutual appreciation society, I guess, because I'm a fan of your art. It reminds me a lot of. I was telling Cal this before, and sorry, Cal, to cut you off during
No.
your talk, but I just want to get this in here. But I was telling Cal before that your art lends itself very well to the black and white medium. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm older. Okay, I'm mature. Okay, I'm 53. I self-published 2 comics back in the 80s, during the black and white era when a lot of black and white books were coming out. We called them small press, and a lot of artists back then, they had to compensate for no color by doing a lot of rendering, in black and white medium, and trying to emulate people like Bernie Wrightson, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, John Buscema, who was really good at it, although his books were colored, but a lot of his stuff in Savage Sword of Conan wasn't. But and your stuff reminds me of that, and it's really good. I really enjoy it. It's good stuff, man. That's all I want to say. Good artist, love it. So
thanks, man. I forget to sometimes, leave some work for the colorist. Sometimes I forget. Well, we didn't even know if we had a colorist,
right?
Until we figured we'd get one,
right.
But we had talked about, well, maybe we should just do it black and white if we don't find anybody or the budget doesn't allow it, if we even get funded. So that's not really why I did it. I still like the color though. I like the black and white, but I think Paul really did a great job with the colors. And I'm glad he or Cal found him. That I like the colors. That's what used to grab me. That's why I really was digging Image Comics when they came out, because of the vibrant colors in their, man, I love it. So I'm a fan of color, but I like the black and white too.
Yeah.
So if we'd have had to go black and white, that would have been fine with me too. I don't know if a lot of people share the same interest though. Some people, the colors grab them. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Kind of had to think about that too. I like the black and white. I like seeing the artists rendering and line work, how they do, all that. But at the same time, not everybody looks at the book and just wants to see that. So we kind of had to think about that too.
No, absolutely. Like I said, I'm with you. I like black and white, but like I was telling Cal, I think you guys really hit it out of the park with this colorist. His coloring style on your art doesn't take away from either one. Like the color just adds to your art, and I think it's really good. And as far as you guys being funded, I have no. I don't think any doubt in my mind that you guys will be funded. So,
well, that's cool to hear.
Yeah. And
I always love the positivity, man. That's great to hear, especially from somebody who's been doing it for a long time. So you obviously know what you're talking about. And I hope you're right.
Yeah, I think you will. That, of course, just my opinion, and I can't fund it by myself. But just from the buzz around the Twitterverse, if that means anything, a lot of people, are just really looking forward to it. So I want to say I would shout out to Cross Comics. He's in the chat. How's it going, man? Appreciate you coming in. It's great stuff.
Yeah.
Cal, you wanna finish talking about your road to writing?
Yeah, Knack, I'm glad Rob popped in when he did, because I think I was starting to go a little long-winded. So we'll just fast forward. So I'll just say. So I was blogging comedy. My friend said, "Hey, that's some funny stuff. Maybe you should try and write for Cracked.com." So that was my intro. I was like, okay, I'm gonna write for Cracked.com, and I was like, I don't want to do that. Let's just write a screenplay. And so we started writing a screenplay, and then I was like, dude, you're an artist. Let's do comic books. And he's like, oh yeah, we can do that. So we kind of just really quickly jumped from, me blogging or doing, trying to write for Cracked, which is a thankless job, to writing a really terrible opening to a screenplay. And then then we decided to do comics. So, we worked at it for several years. And during that time, I was on the Comics Experience forum, learning exactly why I was a terrible writer. I forget who it is, but there's a saying, that when you start doing something, you're not going to be good at it usually, unless you're a prodigy. But if you have good taste, then your skill will catch up to your taste. If you have a good sensibility for what makes a cool story, you're not going to do a good job your first time, or your second time, or your third time. But eventually, you write enough, and your skill will catch up to that. And that's kind of where I'm at now. I used to have cool ideas, and then the execution was terrible. And my first script got torn to shreds on this forum. I don't know if you guys know what Comics Experience is, but they have it's like $30 a month, and you go on and you can do it for art, you can do it for writing, lettering, coloring, and you basically get peer review critiques on your work. But there's also pros on the forum. So like Chuck Dixon was on the forum when I was doing it. Mm-hmm. He gave me a critique on my second script. Cullen Bunn is on there. Unfortunately, Heather Antos works there now, so I'm never going back. But anyway, yeah, my first script, like, no one would review it. And then finally this guy was like, fine, dude, I'm just going to tell you this is bad, and here's all the reasons why. And that was the defining moment for me as a writer, because I could have just said, he doesn't know what he's talking about. That a lot of people did that. When I kind of switched over and became him, and became like a top reviewer, a critic on this site, mm-hmm. I would write critiques for people, and some of them would be like, they would send me a response that was as long as my critique, telling me all the reasons I was wrong about it. I'm like, you guys, you don't even realize what you're doing here. Like, I was where you are. I took the advice. I threw that script in the trash, and I submitted number 2. That one got torn to shreds. But then I improved and I improved and I improved, and that script ended up being really, really good. So, like, your question, like, was your first thing well received? I would count that first script as my first thing, like the first thing I put out. And no, it was not. It was not well. It was full of like just like really high-minded, like philosophical stuff, and just very pretentious. Very wordy, very all over the place. Right. But thank God I took that critique, and now I'm in a really good place, and I know how to write a good story now. But that's only because someone told me why I was terrible.
Right. Well, I think all creative people go through that. I think Rob will tell you the same thing. Before I get into that, though, shout out to Sporkman Studios. He's in chat. Sporkman, I know he's got something going on as well right now, and everybody needs to go check that out as well. Good stuff. Yeah, good guy too. So, but yeah, I think all creative people go through that at some point. I mean, I started off drawing when I was, trying to draw professional when I was 19 years old, and some of the stuff I put out back then was, quite frankly, garbage. Okay, it was trash. I still needed to learn a lot about anatomy, about dynamic pose, especially if you're going to draw for comics, right? Yeah. All these things, and I'm still learning, and I'm a mature person, and I'm still learning every day. So I think that goes for any creative endeavor. Writing is probably the same thing. When I write, I'll sit down and write some stuff, and then I'll read it the next day, and I'm saying, this is trash. I need to I need to start over again or something, and it's the same way with art. So I think we all go through that, but now you're on the precipice of having your comic come out. I think we talked a little bit about this. You're pretty excited about it, I'm sure. And so what kind of advice would you give to somebody just thinking about, well, I've got an idea, I don't know if I'm good enough to write it, get any advice for anybody, for people like that?
I do.
Okay.
Well, it's not really advice. I had an idea, and I sat down and tried to write it, and I was found myself. I'm good at coming up with pretty cool ideas, stories. Not really good at putting them together. So I tried it, you know, I did a few pages and I started posting art, and then actually that's how Cal hit me up. He saw some of my artwork, and he
Uh-huh.
writes. So this is, I don't know if this is really advice, but that's kind of what I was going through. And the story I was trying to come up with, it was way out of my league. I didn't know enough information to really write. It was like a science fiction future type stuff, and I didn't know enough of the information to really put together a good story.
Right.
But I'm researching now still. I still read up on stuff, so maybe somewhere in the future I'll know enough, and maybe look into some writing tips and things like that. Maybe Cal could help me out. Maybe in 5-10 years I'll follow up on that project. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like when I started writing, when I was writing the Wreck, I did a lot of cursory research on, you know, like space, right? Like Saturn and Titan and all those things, right? That I knew a little bit about, but nowhere near enough to sound like I knew what I was talking about when I wrote the story. So, so I'm right with you on that. Like, and then every time I do it, it's like, man, somebody that's smarter than I am is gonna read this. You're gonna read this book and say that guy's an idiot. So it's like, you know, so I'm always second guessing myself. And I have a friend of mine who's a screenwriter, and he helps me out quite a bit with stuff like that. And one of his big pieces of advice about writing is just write, you know, whatever, just write it. And then you can worry about things like that after you get done. You can have other people read it and give you their feedback, kind of what Cal was talking about on the forums, you know, and just listen to the feedback. And, you know, eventually you just get better as it goes on and on. But if you never do it, you're never going to get better at it. So, and I think that's the same way with art, which segues into me asking you, Rob. I've seen your stuff on Twitter. I think I've also seen some pages that were posted. I don't know if they were posted by you or somebody else. Some sequential art that maybe you'd done for a different project.
Yeah, I did. I had to take a little break from this to make a little money.
Right.
And I did some work for this Red Giant battle. It was a 10-page Ashcan, and I finished it. It's still waiting to be colored and thing. I just talked to that guy yesterday to hear what was going on with it. His colorist is Tom Du Bois. So like he's all backed up doing other stuff. So eventually, I guess that thing will come out. Maybe I don't know. It was kind of fun to do though. It wasn't really my my style as far as I enjoyed doing it. I don't know. Maybe it was. I don't know. It was kind of some truth to the story, and I like doing the fiction. Like I like just something that you can kind of run with and don't have to stick to any facts. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But there was some truth to this story. It's like some urban legend or myth about these guys that went over to Afghanistan or something and found, like, I don't know if they found bones or if they actually found a giant or something, or were attacked. I don't know how much truth is to it.
I've
heard this.
I know that story. I'll say it when you guys want. Go ahead, Rob.
Go for it. I've reached the end of my information there.
So yeah, I think it was Kandahar. I don't remember exactly, but there are stories that they encountered a giant, like a literal, like 12, 15-foot giant that lived in a cave out there. The first team disappeared, so they sent another team in to look for them, and they found like just a bunch of corpses. And then this giant comes out with like a spear and like impales one of the guys, and they shot the thing in the face. Apparently they transported the body by helicopter. And it sounds ridiculous, but there are three different people, like unrelated, you know, that have kind of corroborated this story. And so I don't know. It's one of those things that if you're into the paranormal and the weird stuff, like it really perks your interest.
Right.
And I know that Tom, the guy that Rob was talking about, he's into the the whole Nephilim in the Bible thing, which I am too. And so I can see where that story.
I think you're talking about Matt. Tom's the colorist. I don't know. Maybe Tom is too. I don't know. Maybe both of them.
Matt told me Tom is into that stuff. And
okay.
And Tom, by the way, guys, is that he did like almost all the art for the early Konami games, like a Nintendo and Contra and stuff like that. Like that art that you remember, that was Tom.
Castlevania.
Yeah,
very cool. Yeah.
So he'll be coloring covers. That's got to be cool, Rob.
Yeah, man, I was surprised. When Matt contacted me, I didn't know who he was, and he was talking. I mean, I don't believe everything I hear on social media or what. Not everything everybody tells me. So I was like, all right, well, he wants to pay me to do something. You know what I mean? So I did it. But now I found out later I did some research and looked up some stuff, and he's actually he's been doing his thing for a little while now. He's into video game stuff more, I think, than the comics. But I think he's using the comics to promote the video games, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Heard that before. So yeah. So that's cool. So you did a little bit of that, turn a little money while you're doing the Shinobi. How'd you get started in doing comic art or art in general? How
you're watching it, man. This is it.
Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. I used to be really into comic books as a kid. Well, this is crazy. I don't know. I'm sure you remember the catalogs that used to come out. Advanced. I think it's Advanced Comics. Do you remember those? They were these big, thick. Well, I don't know. They're pretty thick, and I think it was Advanced Comics, if I'm not mistaken.
Hey, Bruce, can you invite Paul? He's in chat now.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Rob.
Advanced. I think it was Advanced Comics, and there was a big catalog that would show off a lot of art and the artists and the new comics that were coming out that year or that month, or whatever. And they'd come out every few months. And back at that time, I was a kid, man. I was I was really young, maybe 13 or 14. And all I did was draw comic books, comic book characters, try and make up my own. I was pretty crappy. I mean, I wasn't bad for my age. I was a good artist, but if I were to look back at it now, it was a joke, But my aunt showed some of the work to somebody that worked for Marvel. And this is when I was a teenager, and they were like, "Oh yeah, he's pretty good. He might have something in the future if he wants. Have him draw up some, some little some sequentials, and maybe we'll do something with it and see what we can do with him." And I didn't realize what she was really kind of the opportunity that was being offered at that time. And I completely blew it off because I was a teenager and I was just really drawn for the fun of it. I wasn't thinking about a career or anything like that. I just, I was like, nah, I'm good. And I just passed up on it, And as time went on, I kept drawing, but I got into, typical teenage things, wanting to go, to parties and things like that, and just do more hanging out. And I got away from drawing for a while. Still drawing every now and then when I could find time to sit down and do it. But then, life took over. I've done everything, man, as far as work goes, anything you can think of. I've done most of it, from welding to carpentry to, drywall to electrical work to, landscaping mainly. I ran my own landscaping business for a while. Was a tattoo artist for a couple years. Would draw portraits for side money and things like that. But just it was really, man, just last year, I think, where I just had something in me. It was man, screw all this stuff. You need to do what you love to do. Because I've always sat down when I had time. and just drew comic book stuff. You know, even when I wasn't even into comics. I hadn't bought a comic in years. You know, I still like to sit down and create characters and things like that. It's always just been something I've done. I have fun with it. I love doing it. And finally, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get back into drawing. I'm going to put my art first because it's really the only thing. I mean, I was proficient in any job I did, but the only thing I can say I'm actually really good at is drawing. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So I said, this I'm going to try. You know, this is what I'm going for now. So I'm hoping to maybe make some kind of career out of it, and you know, this would be what I do. You know, so.
Well, I think you made the right choice. Good artist. I think the comic book industry will be better off with you in it. It's good stuff.
Thank you.
I want to. I'm trying to get Paul invited, so I'm doing that while I'm trying to talk and maintain my level of thought. And as you get older, you kind of lose that cohesiveness. So just give me a second. I want to welcome Macho Dan into the chat. Macho,
what's up, Dan?
Yeah, good guy. Him and Mudman. Going to be relaunching Hero here pretty soon. I think we're going to do a little special on this channel for them as well. Cool. Try to kick them off as well. So, so Paul, I'm going to get you in. Just give me a second. I'm going to do it. So, but yeah, your journey into art and comic art. I kind of went through a similar thing as well. I did comics early on. I lost some money because distributors went bankrupt. Got into a bunch of other things. I hauled garbage. I was a garbage man for a while. I went to school and got an associate's degree in electronics and worked on computers and all communication test equipment for a long time. And then I got into web graphics, and I finally I actually got into the gaming industry and did that for about 15 years. But then now I'm back into the comics, and I'm trying to make a go of it. So it's always very encouraging to see people like yourself and like Cal and like all the independent creators out there just doing what they really like to do and getting it out there and letting people see what they do. And I think it's better for the industry as a whole, just more options. You don't have to, be force fed all this crazy stuff, and you can pick and choose what you enjoy. So it's really good stuff. So, So let me ask you guys, writing and artist team here, and then I'm going to get Paul in, just like I said, and we'll talk to him too. What's the process for you guys? Like, Cal, I know you've written the script before. Maybe did you have it all scripted out before you even contacted Rob to do this, or
I had
how's that work?
Well, I had a 20. I think it was a 22-page, like a standard floppy size script, and I gave that to Rob with the pitch, which I did kind of like the standard comic. If you're going to pitch to Image or whoever, I did that same kind of thing. And by the way, if any writers are watching and you don't know how to do a comic pitch, then hit me up on Twitter and I'll help you out, because having a good, attractive pitch that's succinct is really, really, really important. Succinct, but enough information to get whet the appetite of whoever you're sending it to. So that's what I did. I sent Rob that. And the script now is a 48-page script. I've developed the story more, and we're now at basically this campaign is going to be for book 1, which will be the first half of the full narrative. So it's like 2 acts of a 4-act story.
Okay.
So no, I didn't have the full thing done when I first contacted Rob, but I did have a full script. It was just a shorter, just a 1-act of the story kind of a script.
Right. So are you pretty fluid with your script when you're working with Rob? And Rob, does Cal allow you to some leeway with art layout? And
probably too much.
Too much? Okay.
No.
Yeah, probably too much. He's really cool, man. If I pitch him an idea like, hey, do you mind? Because Cal lays it out, man. Like he's it's real easy drawing off of his writing because he lays everything out. You know, just every now and then I'll say to myself, you know, maybe if I draw it this way, it might you know, capture the mood a little better or something. And I'll pitch the idea to Cal, and Cal's, you know, he's always been like, man, just do your thing. So, but primarily stick to the script. Cal's very detailed with the way he lays everything out. But like I said, yeah, he's cool with any suggestions I might have from a artistic standpoint. You know, what might look better visually from page to page. He's real cool about you know, just letting me run with it if I want to.
Well, I was telling Cal earlier before you jumped in that I noticed on the couple, you know, I was fortunate to be, or privileged enough to see a couple of the pages before you've actually showcased them, and I noticed that you've changed a couple of the pages that I recognized from earlier, and man, they're not that they were not good before, because they were, but they're so much better the way that you reworked them. They just play a lot better. It just reads a lot better to me. So kudos for that. Yeah.
I wasn't real satisfied with the first few pages I drew. I was kind of getting a feel for how I wanted to do it. And I didn't, you know, at first I was like, you know, I want to draw something cool, you know what I mean? And then the more I started thinking about it, you know, it's going to be, you know, this thing's going to take a little bit of time to do. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to give him my all. I want to really, you know, capture everything to the best of my ability, give, you know, do the best I can with Cal's writing and everything. And so I decided to scrap all the other stuff and start over again. And I'm glad I did. And I'm having a lot more fun with it. I think what I did was I noticed as I was drawing my style, you know, and the everything was changing anyway. Like I was figuring out better ways to do the you know, the anatomies and things like that. I was like, you know what, I don't like how this looks. I want to do it like this. And then I was like, you know what, by the time I get to the end of this book, it's going to look totally different. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to sit down, figure out exactly how I want to do this, what I'm going to be satisfied with in the end, and get it all right now.
No,
so that's what I did.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's the right way to go, and I think you made a good decision on that as well. So
thank you.
Yeah,
I'm working on the cover right now. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Especially with that colorist you got.
Yeah,
I want to invite Paul into the channel. Thanks for coming in, man.
Hello.
How you
What's
doing?
up, Paul? How's it going, man?
Yeah, it's great. Great to be here.
Awesome.
Great. I was telling these guys that your coloring job on the pages so far really fits into Rob's style. It's really well done. So kudos to that, man.
Thanks, man.
Doing good work. So if you're ever into wanting to do any other books, I might want to hit you up later, because I might lose my colorist for the Rex. So I don't know what's going on. I might have to find a new one. So Macho's got some questions for Rob here. He wants to know, Rob, do you have a favorite artist that inspires you? Somebody you look up to as an artist? And then he also has some other questions here, like what music do you listen to get you going? And if you like to eat tacos before you eat, I don't know.
I used to be a big hip hop fan, and also metal. Especially when I'm working out and stuff, I love listening to metal. Sometimes when I'm drawing, I'll listen to metal, Godsmack, Korn, Guns N' Roses.
Nice.
And then I'm a huge Eminem fan. I've always, whatever. Some people don't like him.
Right.
I think he's a genius. That's why I like him. I think he's a genius. I recognize genius when I see it in any art form. So I like his music too. And what was the other question? I heard music and then.
Oh, he's he wants to know if you have a favorite meal because he says tacos always get him going.
Ah, man, I have favorite meals and I can't eat them. I like well, one thing I do like that I can't eat is sushi.
Okay.
But I have a lot of favorite meals that I can't eat anymore. I'm a big pizza fan. I don't really eat pizza anymore because it's just you know, I'm starting to get a little older now too, and I'm not. I just had another. I just had a daughter. She's 7 months old, and I got to be able to keep up with her.
Yeah.
And, you know, chase her boyfriends away and things like that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know, I don't think any of her boyfriends are going to be scared of a big, out of shape guy, you know, in his 50s or whatever. So I said, man, I got to start getting back into shape. So I watch what I eat now. I drink a lot of coffee.
Yeah, don't we all?
Yeah. He's favorite artists. They change like all the time. Like I'm fickle, I guess, when it comes to it. In the 90s, my favorite artists were probably my top three were. I was a big Rob Liefeld fan, believe it or not. Before I really, big Rob Liefeld fan, big Todd McFarlane fan, and huge Stephen Platt fan in the 90s.
Yeah.
Along with a lot of others. I just can't even, you know, I can't even begin to name them. Jim Lee, of course. Silvestri, of course. Jeez, man, so.
Now let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Okay, to be on my channel, you have to answer this question correctly. Are you a Frank Frazetta fan?
Frank Frazetta, yeah, Frank Frazetta.
Absolutely, you can stay. Great.
Okay. Yeah.
Who's not a Frank Frazetta fan?
Frazetta's amazing. It's almost he's so good. I almost don't tie him in with comic books.
Right.
So it's like he's like a Picasso or something. You know what I mean? Like he's like a Da Vinci or something like that, man. Like his art is just amazing. Yeah. Also Sam Keith, Dale Keown.
Yeah.
I mean, they keep popping up. There's a ton of them now. Also, David Finch is amazing.
Yeah, I love David Finch. Yeah.
That dude, I love his work, man. I do. And I like the old Jim Lee, but I kind of like the new Jim Lee stuff. I don't know if I like it more. I guess I like it different because it's he's definitely evolved. His style's evolved a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's similar, but it's evolved incredibly. Like he's changed all his rendering up, like 100%. Yeah, I don't know. Dude's just amazing. I don't know. I got a bunch of favorite artists, but from day to day they change. Joe Mad, also another amazing artist.
Right. Yeah.
And you know, I didn't get into comics until the late 80s, early 90s. So some of the older artists I'm not I'm not that familiar with. I'm not like a comic like expert or anything like that. I don't know all the backstories about all the comic. You could ask me a question about comic books and I probably won't know the answer.
Well, that's cool.
You know, so like it's easy to stump me.
Oh, I'm not going to try to stump you.
I told my wife, she's like, I'm going to watch the show. And I was like, don't, because if they start asking me questions about comics, I'm not going to know the answer to it. I'm going to look stupid. And then I got to walk around the house looking like an idiot too, even though the computer's off, you know. I don't know.
Dude, I always walk around the house looking stupid in front of my wife. It's okay. No, I would suggest you check out maybe some of John Buscema's work, especially on Conan. He did some really good stuff there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I want to get Paul in here. Paul, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody? You're the colorist on Shinobi Sasquatch. just give us a little background, like how long have you been doing coloring, some other stuff maybe you worked on, and yeah, just a good overview of what's going on.
Damn, I don't know where to start because I only started my, I don't know, art journey like 4 years ago,
Okay.
and I haven't really been involved in a lot of projects aside from that one Ukrainian comic book.
Okay. What was the name of
Uh,
that one? Do you remember the name of that one? Or?
yeah, it's The Whale.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I really haven't been, wasn't involved in a lot of projects. I did some stuff for Jack Irons, one of the pinups I worked on, and I mean I
It was
did
really
fan
good
art.
too. Yeah, I saw that. It was good.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
So, how did you? You're from the Ukraine, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How did you and Cal hook up? I think Cal briefly mentioned it earlier, but it'd be great to hear it from you. How did you hook up with Cal?
I saw his post about looking for a colorist on Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
and I just kind of DM'd him.
Oh, okay. All right. And
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
and he saw some of your work and said, "Man, it looks good." So, and
yeah. I
it,
kind of flexed a bit, and he sent me like a test. I don't know if what is that? Was that a cover or
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not
that was
sure
one of
what happened.
Rob's. That Rob did like a, I don't know, maybe it was supposed to be for a cover originally, but yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
another one that wound
it
up in the
was pretty
scrap.
sick.
So
Yeah, pretty crazy.
it's good.
yeah, well, yeah. So far, like I was telling these guys, your coloring style on those pages are really good. I didn't know what kind of colorist Cal would get because with Rob's work, it
Mhm.
reads really well in black and white, and but those it matches really well. So you're doing a fantastic job, by the way. It's really good. So
Yeah, well,
Amazing.
it's kind of hard to uh, color Rob's work because I have no idea what to add because it's already so detailed and
yeah,
Ah,
it's already super rendered. Like, what can I do?
right.
thanks, man.
I know. I think you did a great job with it. It's very complimentary.
Amazing.
Yeah. So
Amazing.
Yeah.
um, I want to welcome James Dean Anderson into the chat. He's a indie creator too. He's got project. I think it's already ran. I'm sure he could tell you in the chat, but really good stuff going on there. And he's telling Rob the art is looking amazing. So
Thank you, James. Man, I appreciate that.
yeah. So well, like I said, it's great to have all three of you in here. That's why I called it the Shinobi special, because I want you guys to be able to get as much exposure as you can, because I think you guys are going to do really well with this book. It's looking really good. I have full confidence in Cal that the story is going to hit the mark. I think it's really going to resonate with people. I think it's going to be good. I really do. And I'm not just blowing smoke. I think you guys are going to do well. So,
Thanks, man.
yeah.
It's really good. It's got some humor, some drama, some it's got a little bit of everything, man. I think everybody could get into it. So it's not like one of them things like you're gonna pick up and it's just for a specific type of person, you know.
Yeah.
Seems like anybody could get a kick out of this script and get into it. So it's really good.
Yeah. James's book's called Conflict, by the way. So make sure you go and check that out for sure. And Macho says he's on the phone, so he can't drop the links. But fortunately, I dropped some links in the description of the video. So if anybody's interested, I think there's a link to the Indiegogo pre-launch page that I've got in there, and then all the links to the creators except for Paul. I don't think I had Paul on my radar until just recently, so I apologize for that, Paul. So if there's any links, Yeah, if there's any links you want me to include in the description, I can do that later once it posts up after we get done going live.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So now, as far as your creative team goes, are you finding now? Are you finding that you guys all work pretty well together? Communication good, things of that nature.
Yeah, we
You got the process down and everything.
chime in. The process is so far. It's been from my end. It's been really easy. I mean, I give Rob the script. He draws the hell out of it. Like he said, I give him a lot of leeway. He doesn't take it, but I told him basically, my panel descriptions are from the mind of a writer.
Uh-huh.
You're an artist, you're visual, and so like if you see things different that they're going to work out differently, then by all means, change the panel count. Take stuff out if it's not adding. Like I'm not precious about my about my panel descriptions. The dialogue is kind of that's my thing. I'm just trying to give him a guideline. This is the story that's happening on this page. Do with it as whatever you think is going to work. And he does stick really close to the script, but he has that freedom to do whatever he wants. And now with Paul in the mix, we've added a third dimension to this, and there is a lot of back and forth between Rob and Paul, but very gracious and very both parties are mutually respectful of one another. I think they both see a tremendous talent in one another. Guys, I'm speaking for you. I hope that's okay. But so far, in my opinion, I think the communication's been really excellent. I think that it's just going to get better and better too as the project moves along.
Right. Yeah. Well, it definitely shows in the stuff you post that you guys tend to work pretty well together. So I think that goes without saying. But when you, Rob, when you're doing the layouts, do you do like rough layouts of the pages and then send them back to Cal and say, hey, this is what I came up with based on what your script is, and then go
No.
back. Nope. Okay.
Nope, not really.
Okay.
I do a rough layout. My process is pretty unorthodox.
Okay.
So if I did a rough layout, it would probably change anyway.
Right.
It's I can't even explain. I don't really have a process. And I don't know, it might bite me in the ass one day. I'm not sure. I draw based off of like the emotion. You know what I mean? I just go with the emotion. I'll even like if I'm drawing something that's dramatic or something, I'll dim the lights in the room. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
play some of that metal, right?
Yeah, man. I draw with by my moods and things, but I follow the script. I do send Cal some of the pencils, before unless I'm trying to surprise him, because I know, like, I'm like, all right, I know what Cal likes. He's gonna like this. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna surprise him with this, see what he says. But if I have questions about something, I definitely will send it to him. And if he asked, me to do rough layouts and things like that, so he could critique them or approve them or whatever, I definitely would. But he seems to give me some room, some leeway, lets me do my thing. So he trusts my judgment. So I kind of use that to my advantage.
Right. Now you're a traditional art. I mean, you work traditionally, right? Pen and paper, or do you do digital stuff? Yeah, pen and paper. Okay.
Nah, I'd like to get into digital one day, but right now, I'm pretty happy with the pencil and ink. I think I'd probably, if I really knew if I could really get into it and figure the digital realm out, I'd probably be a little better. It just seems like what these artists are capable of doing digitally is just amazing, man. Like some of that stuff you just can't do. You can try and make it, but it's like that. But then again, some people are, more into seeing that raw material too. So
yeah, well, there's plus and minuses to both. I mean, with traditional, I still love doing traditional art sometimes because there's just it's going to sound weird and it's going to sound like a trope, whatever. But I like the way the pencil feels on the paper. Sometimes you get the little friction. It's different on the computer. You're doing it digitally. You don't get that. But on the other hand, with digital, so much easier. You don't have to worry about making like inking mistakes, right? I could just undo, control Z, control Z. That's the best eraser there is. So,
I imagine it's better on your nerves.
Absolutely. You're not worried about, oh God, I could really screw this up right now.
Yeah.
So I get you on that. So
if anybody gets any of the original page work, on the campaign, if they want to buy some of the original pages, they'll get to see just how much whiteout I use.
Yeah. I feel you. I've been down that road before. So Master Gun says that he's back in day one, and he says you've got it. Been pouring over every bit of art that you guys have been releasing. I think a lot of people have. So yeah. Good
awesome
stuff. Now, Paul, let me ask you about the process. Your part in the process when you're doing the colors. Do you do like a page or a page and then send it off to Cal or Rob and say, hey, are you cool with this? Or they pretty much give you carte blanche to do, hey, just go ahead, color, boom, we're going to be happy with it.
No, I check in every stroke I do. I mean, the first time I get a page with nothing on, I just kind of drop in some colors and try to figure out the mood and like the overall lighting, and then I send it to Rob and Cal, and we kind of work together on what we all want to see in this scene.
Right. Well, now let me ask you: Are you more like you said you've been doing this for about 4 years now, right? Not very long, 4 years.
Yeah.
So do you do the whole formulaic way of coloring where you lay down flats and then you use those flats and go from there and then do your rendering as far as your tones and shades and lighting and things, or do you just start right off the bat like that?
I do it however I feel like at the moment.
Okay.
Like me.
Yeah.
I could tell that when I saw his work. I could tell it. Like I if you zoom in on, if you go to the link I put in like one of the comment boxes on the original post of the page, I think you get the Dropbox link, and on that you can really go and zoom in on his colors. And like, man, he's insane, man. Like he's Paul, you're amazing, dude. Like the texturing, all the texturing that you can see, and the little details. Like I look at all that stuff, man. He was sending me and Cal screenshots at first, right? So we couldn't really see all the detail till he was completely done and put it in Dropbox. And then once he did that, and we got to zoom in and look at it, I was just like, geez, man, the effort and time and thought that he put into it is insane, because like it's just amazing. Like he's really good. Like just definitely surpassed any of my expectations. And I can't say I haven't had to at all do any critiquing or anything about his coloring or anything, but like I have a few ideas like how I want something done. You know what I mean? And I'll be like, hey, can we try this? And he goes and he does it, and it looks amazing. So it's like, it's perfect, man.
Yeah. Dude, really good stuff. Yep. So it sounds to me, Cal, like you just let the artist take over after you've given them the script, and it's turning out pretty well so far, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm in the conversation, but I mean, basically it goes like this. Rob sends me a page, I go, holy crap, that's freaking amazing. Okay, cool. And then you know,
Hey,
Paul,
zoom in
yeah.
on the
Here, let me.
hold on. Go down to the face. There's like a facial shot, like the eyes, man. I was looking at the
Oh
eyes.
yeah, the eyes are awesome.
He really did great. Like, and that's a small piece. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
man. You got little details in there. How he did like the light around the pupil and everything. Like the pink in the eyelid. Like
the fur texture is really good.
Yeah, the fur texture, everything, man. Like, dude does his thing.
Right.
Sorry, Cal. My bad.
Yeah, no, that's
Anyway.
all right. I had it zoomed in just so we could kind of
No, go ahead. I'm done.
Look at it. But no, it's and I wanted people to see, like, look at the detail. Like, he doesn't just freaking color it and then shade it a little bit. Like, he's taking his time. He's adding these. You know, he's got brushes for fur texture. You know, or whatever. I don't know what exactly brush you're using, Paul, but I mean, it definitely. This is going to shine on the page. I mean, backers are going to get this and they're going to freak out. It's going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be the best or one of the top 2 or 3 best looking books in comics.
That panel right there too. They want to right there. Like,
yeah.
If you zoom in, I didn't know if he was going to get that either. Like, and not that one, the one above it.
The one above it, right?
The little dude, the little
mushroom?
On the grass and the mud. I was like, man, I wonder if should I explain to him what it is, or is he gonna think it's like little lumps on the? Nah, man, like he knew what it was.
Actually, when I was doing that, I was thinking if that was like little pieces of the ground or something like that. But then I thought, like, I'll go with you because it's kind of fits the mood.
Yeah. You nailed it, man.
Perfect. I mean, look at this, guys.
Thanks,
like,
man.
Try it out loud. Look at those mushrooms. They're awesome. Look at the Kodama's little bracelet with all the details. You didn't have to do that.
No,
that's awesome.
That's a real small picture too. Like, it's really small. So
it's just on this page. It's not even.
Yeah.
So we're fans, Paul. Man, we're so glad. I'm so glad you contacted us. And I love how he has the atmospheric. The blur, the atmosphere. Whatever you call that? The horizon further away or a little are lighter. That's cool. I mean, that's not all colorists. At least they've only been doing it for 4 years. Even know what I would. They wouldn't even know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's
no, it's good stuff, man. Paul, it's really good. Actually, all 3 of you guys, it's really good. Now I'm gonna have to hold judgment on Cal because I haven't read the story yet, but I'm pretty confident he'll do it as well. But as far as the art goes, the actual art and the coloring, it looks fantastic. You guys are doing a good job. So normally I close it up after an hour, but I want to probably go about another 10 minutes because I want you guys to be able to talk more about Shinobi, about when it's coming out, maybe anything you want to highlight about it, any of your other work and things of that nature. Before I get to that, though, I want to James Dean Anderson brings up a good point about when we were talking about traditional versus digital. Traditional artists, you're going to have those original art pages that you can also sell if you want to, or keep, or I don't know how you guys plan on, as a team splitting those up, or if you're going to split them up or what you're going to do, but that's extra money. Original art.
They're going to the campaign.
Money. Oh, are they?
It's all going to go.
It's going to go on
anything.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So yeah, I was to say all that's pretty much going to the campaign, except a few pages which we can, divvy up or whatever. Like well, I'm sure there's going to be some left over. I don't think they're all going to get bought because it's going to be like 45 pages available to the backers if they want to buy them.
Mm-hmm. How many pages?
I doubt that.
I'm sorry. How many pages is the book?
48.
48 pages. Okay.
We have stretch goals to add pages, but yeah, to start it's 48.
Okay.
It'd be great to hit those stretch goals. I'm looking forward to doing more drawing on this book. So that'd be cool if we hit a stretch goal. That'd be awesome because I'm really looking forward to adding in some stuff too, artistically. So.
Now, how far into the book do you guys think you are, like completion wise?
Oh, the script is done, but yeah, we're the arts because like Rob said, he decided to redo those pages, which we're all glad he did. I mean, although like you said, the original pages were phenomenal. The style now is just so much it's not that the skill is better. The style is just so much.
Yeah, it's more dynamic. Yeah,
more dynamic. So Rob's working on. He's finished a couple of pages. He's working on he finished the title logo. I don't know if you guys saw that on.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, very good.
And then Paul he's real close to finishing coloring that. It looks really awesome so far. And then once Paul's done with the logo, he's going to be on page 2 while Rob is finishing up the cover, and then on to page 3. Our plan is to have 3 to 4 fully completed pages plus the cover by the time we launch May 1st. And we'll see. But honestly, I think if we just finish the 2 pages we have now and the cover, I think that's going to sell it for a lot of people. Just looking at the art.
I think we should at least. I'm hoping at least to get 3 pages and the cover and the logo all colored and ready for the people to see. Hopefully 4. I got a funny schedule, so sometimes there's some days I'm not able to get a whole lot of work done, and then there's some days I am able to sit down and get quite a few hours in of drawing. So it's I think I'll be able to get more done here shortly. My time will be a little more freed up, and we'll get rolling and hopefully have everything done by October, which was our deadline. So.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you plan on fulfilling the Indiegogo by October?
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah. So that was one of the questions I want to ask you, and you kind of answered it for me, but because I want to ask Paul as well. What do you think your rate? Do you do about a page a day, every other day? You think, because you pencil and ink it. So do you think maybe you do a page every 2 days, every 3 days?
Me?
Yeah.
Nah, man. I wish it takes me about depending. Okay, hour wise, if I actually had the 8 hours to sit down and draw, it would be 2 days.
There you go.
It'd be a day to pencil and a day to ink.
Yeah.
But because my schedule doesn't always allow that, it's more like 3 or 4 days. Somewhere around in there, maybe. Right. Maybe even leading into day 5 sometimes, depending on what's going on.
No, that's actually pretty good. I mean, you're talking 8 hours to pencil, probably 8 hours to ink. I mean, if you were doing it full time, that's what you'd be doing probably. So.
Yeah, if I was going out in the morning and going to sitting in the studio or something for 8 hours, or if I was working, if I had a place where I was going to work and I could do that, then I'd say I'd get a page done every 2 to maybe 2.5 days. I'd probably knock it out.
Yeah, that's not bad at all, really. That's not bad at all. So what about you, Paul? What does it take you to color a page?
Kind of the same, I think. I'm actually in university, so I don't have that much time to work as well.
Right.
But some days we don't have classes, so I don't know. Maybe it depends on the page, because that first page, there was a shot where he was leaping, and that took me a lot of time. It had a lot of I don't know, detail, and that what do you call it? The vortex effect. That thing took me a lot of time. If it weren't there, then it'd probably be faster. So it depends on the page. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely depends. Gotcha. I got you.
I'm showing that right now, by the way. That panel he's talking about.
Right. Yeah, I've got you. I think I've got it. I've got you on screen share right now. So.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I want to see if chat has any more questions for you guys. It's a rare opportunity. You got the whole creative team on the channel right now. If you want to ask him anything, now's be a good time to do it. So So your project's coming out May 1st on Indiegogo. Right now, you've got the pre-launch page going on, right? You signed up for a newsletter, right? That's cool.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
What's on the pre-launch page? Because like for some reason, is it just that one picture? Is there other stuff on the pre-launch page?
I'll pull it up. Let's see. I'll pull it up for you. We'll show it to everybody.
Absolutely.
Friggin' slow computer. Oh, this isn't it. Okay, this is.
That's your perk page.
Yeah, I'm showing off.
We get to see all your perks right now.
Yeah, there's a few of them down there. If we had more time, I would go over all the perks with you too. Like I don't mind pre-sharing them. Maybe I can click.
Let me see if I can't pull it up, and I'll share mine here. Hold on.
I can't see anything. That's why I know it's kind of weird that I'm the one asking, but I can't. This is the first time I've brought the laptop out in a little while. I do everything from my phone, and for some reason, my phone's not letting me pull up the Indiegogo stuff. Especially, I can't click like I've often tried to click people's links on Twitter to check out the campaigns, and I can't do it from Twitter. I can't do it clicking the link. I actually have to go and like log in, and then for some reason, what I can see is limited.
That's odd. So this is it's on my screen if you guys can see it. This is the preview, so it's not full screen, but I've got that slice there. They're really specific about the size, the dimensions of the art. But I've got that kind of behind the title, and it kind of darkens it for you too for some reason. Then you've got the email sign up here. Move on down. You've got I need to update with the color once it's done, but I've got this guy here, 48 badass pages of butt kicking and demon slaying. We've got this panel here, more finished art coming, and then I've got these two slices from the colored page. So that's the whole pre-launch page.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's good. The more art you show, I noticed the better it does as well. Like when I did my campaign back in November last year, and I had the pre-launch page, I had some art on there, but I think it would have done better if I had more art on the pre-launch page. And then again, it's the same way with the campaign, right? The more finished art you can show, I think the better off you'll be as well, because it'll be more impressive. But I think if you guys have 3 or 4 finished pages, colors and maybe the cover, I think it'd be fantastic.
Definitely the cover.
Yeah.
I'll be wrapping up with that this weekend. Cover will be all done this weekend. Sending it to Paul to color. So that'll be cool.
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, I think that would help. I think that would just.
I think you guys are gonna like the cover. It's kind of dramatic, more so. It's not. Don't expect like a big action-packed cover. It's got more of a dramatic effect to it. It gives you a good feeling. I don't know.
And you get to see one of his buddies on the cover, right? One of Shinobi Sasquatch's sidekicks.
Yep.
Cool.
Very nice. Very nice. I see that you've got the Squatcher Gazette up, which is kind of a unique idea, and I think it's pretty cool.
Thanks.
I think it's pretty cool.
I wanted to do something different and a little more interesting than just an email. Kind of got away from me though, because I actually didn't give any campaign news on issue 2. The writing funny little news articles sidetracked me, so there's actually not any news. It's Easter eggs for the issue, like this.
Right.
The cannibal killer killed cannibalized is from the first few pages. Charlie's coffee is like the Starbucks of this.
Horse rides, man.
That's
nice.
pretty funny.
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
A lot of these are Easter eggs for other Comicsgate projects. So Bloody Professor and Graveyard Shift. Professor Blood is the kind of the main guy. Why So Downcast? So that's Downcast, obviously. Filthy Flatbreads is Dusty Tortillas. Real robot amphibians, obviously, is Cyberfox. So yeah, I did it on the first issue too. I just kind of had some Easter eggs for
What
other kids.
about Horse Rides a Man?
That, like, honestly, that just popped into my head when I'm like, okay, what fake headlines? And literally just Horse Rides Man just popped into my head.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's pretty unique. It's pretty cool. So I think you did a good job there. Macho Dan, great guy, by the way. Make sure you guys check out their project too. Him and Muttman. That's coming soon as well. Hero with an I. Okay, Hero. He wants to know, Paul, what is your favorite color?
Damn. Purple.
Purple?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, there you go, Macho Purple. And Master Guns wants to know what they can do to help spread the word outside of Twitter.
Everything. Anything.
Everything you can.
I shut down my Facebook account, so I can't really do anything there. I don't know. I got tired of Facebook.
I just have Facebook. I just have Facebook for my family and friends. Really, I don't. I have an art page on there, but not a lot of people even know about it. And so I actually post on my art page, and then I have to share it with my personal page just so that people see it. So
yeah, I don't know. Some people have all these followers on like Instagram and stuff like that, but I don't know how to do that. If I felt like Twitter was better for things like this, but there's people out there that utilize all those social media outlets. I haven't had a chance to do it yet, though. I'm not real good at that. So if I don't really post much on Twitter except for art. I don't really. I'm not very social on social media. I'm just there to look at art. That's really it, man. I'm just there to look at art and post art, and that'll help promote the project.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I get on Twitter a lot just to post my art, and like you said, I go and look and see what other indies are doing and stuff. So, let's see what we got here. Rob, are you on? Oh, okay. Come on, Macho. He wanted to know if you're on Instagram. You answered that already.
I am on Instagram. I'm on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, I am on Instagram. There's some art on there. There's some old portrait stuff on there. Some of the newer stuff. I think I only have like maybe 50 followers on Instagram because I'm never on there. But I'm on there. There's art on my page if you want to go check it out. I don't even know what my Instagram like handle is. It's really weird. I think it's like KA 5ZA8. Probably type that in and it might pop up or something. Like it's or you could probably just look me up maybe. But if I don't know, there's a bunch of Robert Willis's. That name is actually a little more common than I thought it was. So you'll probably see a bunch of them. But I think the picture that you'll see if you're looking for mine, I don't know. Does that work the same as Facebook does? Is like you get like an option like people that pop up if you type in the name on Instagram?
I think so.
So mine has me and 3 of my kids on the beach. So you'll see me on the beach. The other 2 aren't in that picture.
All right, cool.
So you see a bald guy with 3 kids on the beach. That's me.
That reminds me, if you guys want me to include links on the video description that I haven't included already, especially you, Paul, because I don't think I have anything for you in the video description. So if you want to have me include anything after the fact, just send me a DM on Twitter, and I'll get it on there. So
cool.
So
I had a question, man. You said you launched 2 independent projects in like the 80s, you said?
Yeah.
I know things were different then.
Oh yeah.
But as far what are your recommendations? Like what do you think the best way to launch a successful campaign is? Like what do you think we should do being newcomers?
I don't know if I'd be the best person to ask because I launched one and it wasn't successful. I fell a little short, but I launched it in November and December.
Oh
And
yeah,
a lot of people tell me, I spent all my money on Christmas, so I didn't have
Yeah.
any money for you. But I plan on relaunching with some of the things I learned. But I think that so far you guys are going about it the right way. You're, like I was telling Cal earlier, you kind of dripping out art, right? Slow drip, getting people anticipated for the project. You're producing good content with it. It looks good. You're going on people's streams, podcasts and things of that nature, and getting the word out. I think, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Rob, you have over 1,000 people following you on Twitter, right?
I just breached 2,000 actually.
2,000, yeah. And then Cal has.
I just surpassed that mark. I'm surprised.
And then, yeah, it is very good. And Cal has a bunch, right?
Yeah.
But 1,300-ish, I think, right now.
Yeah, and I found I don't know if there's any quantifying facts that would back this up, but I always gauge 10% of your followers will probably back your project, at least 10%, and then whatever else you got going on, especially if you want some really good advice, talk to Cody.
Okay.
From Jack Irons, Cody Fernandez.
Oh yeah,
he is fantastic at shilling his project. Okay, his product. He did a fantastic job at it. He drummed up a lot of business on Indiegogo, and I think he's really good at it. I think that other guys who are obviously good at it, people like Ethan Van Sciver and those, but they have huge followings, Yeah. And somebody like myself, I can't hope to attain that in a short amount of time, and so I have to go about it a different way, right? And I think that's kind of the same boat that we're all in. I think Macho Dan and Muttman are seeing the same thing. It's providing a good product, getting it out there ahead of time, making sure that you're working on your campaign at least a month in advance of it releasing, which I think what you've done, Cal, right? So, I mean, I think you're doing everything right. And like I told Cal earlier, I think you guys are going to be successful. I think you're going to be more successful than what you think you are. But that's just me and in my opinion. But I think you're doing a good job right now. So just keep it up,
Thank
you.
Yeah. I think how you're doing it right now is you're doing a good doing it well. So like what Macho says, you guys don't need to worry about success. It's going to smash it. So there you go. Okay? You got a lot of people saying that, and there's a lot of people on Twitter saying that as well. And I think they're right. I think that's good stuff.
I hope so. I hope they're right.
Yeah,
it'd be great.
Yeah.
So we can. It kind of determines. I'm not going to say I'd give up if this campaign failed or something like that. I keep at it, but the success of this is probably going to drive me to definitely want to keep creating.
Oh, I thought you were saying it was going to drive you to drink.
No.
So, no, I think I think you guys are going to do well, and just keep on keeping on, and that's all you can. You don't ever know until it comes out, but every indication shows that you'll probably do very well. So I wouldn't worry about it that too much. So
awesome.
But anybody that's still listening in chat, normally this show talks about writing and people's process of writing and what got them started, and sometimes art as well. I plan on including more colorists, and we're fortunate enough to have Paul join us this time. So we didn't get to learn a whole lot about his process, but hopefully he'll come back on the show in the future and talk more and more about the coloring process.
Well, it's super random, so
yeah. Well,
that's the whole process.
Well, that's the good thing about creating things, right? I bet Rob's process is different than mine, but we're both artists and we're trying to achieve the same end. And I'm
trying to make it look good.
Yeah, and Cal's process of writing is probably different than a lot of people's, but in the end, you're just trying to get that story out there, trying to write a good story. So it's always good to learn about different ways that people go about their business, and things of that nature. So It's all good. So I want to wrap it up. We've been on a long time. I don't like to stay on very long, but I definitely enjoyed talking to all three of you, talking about your upcoming project and talking about what drives and motivates you. So I'll close it out by letting each of you give a little closing. You can talk about Shinobi. You could tell everybody about when it's launching and or your own personal projects, whatever you want to say. Just go ahead and Cal, you can start if you want.
All right. Well, we talked about Shinobi a lot, so I'll just plug my YouTube channel.
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to mention that, so you go ahead and do it.
Yeah, Cal Jameson on YouTube, and I think it's the only one that comes up. I'm doing a series on writing right now. My process of like I call it capital S story. I have a lot of reverence for for story, and writing a good, not only a entertaining but a compelling story. And so I'm doing a series on that right now. I started it last week with the most simple definition of story, which is just one word: change. You can define story as change, and then we build on that. I think I put the second one out last night, and it's doing better than the first one did in the first day, so that's good. But yeah, come over to my YouTube channel. I'm going to do this whole series on writing and other stuff too. I'm just trying to build my channel. I saw Clint Stoker from Sweetcast doing so well based on a 3,000 subscriber YouTube channel, and that was it. Because he's like 700, 800 followers on Twitter, so he's getting his campaign was funded based on his YouTube subscribers. So I want to do that, but obviously not for this book. I don't have time, but I want to get a decent YouTube following going, so that future projects will have a better chance of doing much better. So yeah, check me out on YouTube.
Yeah, for sure. And I posted a link in chat, and the link's also in the video description. And I watched a couple of your videos, and they're good. They're good. Like, I'm an aspiring writer, so I find them very helpful. So
cool, thanks.
Good stuff. Yeah, good stuff. So Rob, you want
to? First, I want to thank you, Paul. Not Paul. Bruce. Sorry for having me on. This is actually the first. Well, I was on somebody's stream once, but it was really short. I didn't do a whole lot of talking either, but I appreciate you letting me and the guys come on here and plug our book.
No, absolutely, yeah.
And as far as anybody who's considering backing the book, I really think you should. I'm my own worst critic, so I can pretty much guarantee that you're gonna be satisfied with this project. The art's gonna be amazing, as you can see. Paul has the colors well under control. Cal has a very, very interesting, well written script, and I'm gonna do everything I can. I'm gonna put everything into it to knock the artwork out of the park. You're gonna have a lot of cool scenes, a lot of amazing visuals in this thing. You're gonna get a kick out of it. So definitely don't hesitate to back it if you're thinking about it, because it's definitely gonna be worth it.
Amen.
Yeah, and I'll say it again, man. It's good. I like it. So I'll be back in for sure. So, all right, Paul, you're up. You haven't talked very much, so I want you to go whole hog right now. I want you to just lay it all out there.
Oh man. Okay, well, first of all, I want to thank everyone, like Bruce for having me here, Cal for giving me this chance to work with Rob and yourself on this book. I think it's gonna be really great because we're really trying to do our best here, and it's really one of we're really trying to make a top-notch product,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's been great working with Rob and Cal. I haven't really worked with other artists that much, and working with an artist like Rob, it's crazy, you know. And yeah, Shinobi Sasquatch werewolf. What more do you need? What more could you possibly need?
Well, yeah. Plus, I see a half-naked woman running, so
Yeah,
I mean that's all I need. Yeah, that's all I need right there.
I'd recommend checking out Paul's page too, because you're not just a colorist, right, Paul? You're an artist. Like you draw too, right?
yeah.
You got a lot of cool artwork on your page. I looked
I'm
at it the other
trying.
day and was pretty amazed, man. Good
Thanks,
stuff.
man.
Yeah, I just followed you on Twitter, so yeah, I'm gonna make sure to go check out all your stuff, man.
I mean, you can put link to my Twitter under this video. I mean, you asked before, so
Yeah, no, for sure, I will.
Yeah.
I'll for sure put it in the video description here. Let's see if I can post a link right in the chat right now, so people can follow you right now if they want. So
They should, for sure.
yeah.
Like, there's some guys, man, I see their work and I'm like, how come these guys don't have more followers? Like people are missing out, you know? And he's definitely one of them. He definitely people need to see his stuff for sure.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem. Good stuff, man.
There you go, man. Post a link to your Twitter so that everybody can go follow you.
Thanks.
And so, other than Shinobi, you got any other projects you're working on, Paul?
Oh, me. I mean, I'm still working on the Lone Wolf Legends, so there's that coming up. I'm doing the art and colors.
Is that for Doug Garrett?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing something for him as well.
We're doing like detective noir, you know.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, there's that. Other projects? Well, I think that's it.
All right. Well, I'm sure you're gonna have a bunch of people wanting you to do their projects here.
Oh yeah, I
after
already
Shinobi.
had people like reach out to me after we posted the page.
That's awesome, man. That's
Yeah.
You got to tell them they got to wait, though, man, for anything major.
That's right.
Yeah. People keep trying to poach Rob too, and I'm watching in chat like, oh hey, DM me your rates. Like, stop it, you guys.
Right. Well, that's the price of doing the job well, right? I mean, you know, but that's what you want, I think, right?
I think that's the price we're willing to pay.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's so rough. I know it's so rough.
Yeah.
I get you. All right, well, guys, I've had you on for about an hour and a half, maybe a little longer. I apologize for that. Usually I go about an hour, but I really appreciate you guys coming on the channel, talking about Shinobi, talking about art, talking about writing, talking about coloring. It's been very informative for me. I hope it's been informative for the people in the chat. I want to thank everybody that's been in the chat and participated. And even if you didn't participate, you just kind of hung back, lurked. I want to thank you for doing that. And if you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe. I plan on having more and more people on, more indie creators on. And it really would help me to know whether or not I'm doing a good job with this or not. So again, appreciate you guys for coming on. I wish you very much luck with Shinobi. I don't think you'll need it, but I wish you much luck with it. I think you'll do great. So I guess that's it. And we're going to close out and I'll talk to everybody later. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks, Bruce. And take it easy, man. I enjoyed being here. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Have a good night.
Okay. You guys too.